There you go. Hi. This feels cringy. My name is Marcus K. Balone. I am a journalist, a writer, a podcaster, and I'm a French guy who loves talking in English. And mostly I've learned English and economics in college. And so I'm bilingual. And it happens that I love culture and talking about topics that happens to touch everybody. I love social justice, I love culture, and I love talking, and also in English. So eventually I made a podcast that in French is named Un homme retard. And my father was like, this needs to stop. Make it in English. Like, you're just bothering us, forcing us to talk in English 24/7. Make a podcast in English. And I was like, Dad, you don't really get it. In France, if you happen to be a French guy that talks well in English, you can very easily be perceived as a very annoying and how can I say that? Like I'm trying not to say an asshole, but like you're just gonna sound like an asshole. And my dad was like, make an episode in English. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it. And this is what's happening here. I'm making a podcast in English. My podcast that is in French is going to have now a couple of episodes in English if I feel like it. And today I wanted to talk about a film that is widely known in America, but I feel like it's not very much known in France. And I just discovered it was on Prime Video, so I watched it like this weekend again because I had already watched it. And the name of it is When Harry Met Sally. And to me, this is one of the greatest rom-com in history, like in history of cinema. And I really don't care about what anyone has to say about it. Like, this is the greatest movie ever, especially the best rom-com. And today I feel like I have to talk to you about When Harry Met Sally. And yeah, it's going to be in English and I hope you like it. And I hope I'm going to talk with like other English speaking person out there. But yeah, that's the English version of my podcast. I guess we can call it A Late Man. And I hope you like it. So let me just, like, because I'm trying to film and record the podcast with this new microphone that my colleagues gave to me, offered to me when, like, for my pot de départ. I don't know how to say that in English, but, like, it's like when it's over, like, it's to say bye to you. And now I'm jobless, but I have a good microphone. So I guess it's a good thing because I can make better podcasts. So you guys, we need to talk about When Harry Met Sally. Like, this is just a piece of art that is going to change your life. I remember the first time I watched it. It was, I think, 2 years ago now. And it was a Sunday, a lazy Sunday. Like, we all have those. I don't really like Sundays because, like, you're already mourning the weekend. You absolutely do not want to face the new week that is gonna come to your face. Come to your face. So basically, the Sunday is a very crucial day. Like, I need to do things that are gonna relax me and make me in a good mood. Like, basically, making a mask, working on the skincare routine, feeling like I'm doing something that is gonna make me feel good, make me look good. Like, lightning candles, having a nap, but not a too long nap because I'm gonna feel like I just wasted a day, even though Sundays are meant to be wasted. Going to the cinema a lot. I'm doing that a lot. Like, that is a good way of spending your Sunday. But watching a movie. And a good movie. A movie that is gonna make you feel like you're ready to face anything and everything. And not every type of movie is going to put you in that type of mood. Like, for example, I was walking my dog this morning and I was watching the latest trailer for The Killer of the Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese, and I was already shaking and having chills and tears just by watching the trailer. And I was like, yep, that's what I'm telling you. Those are the type of movies I love. My mom would tell you that I love depressing movies. But clearly, if you're watching Killer of the Flower Moons on a Sunday, buy. Like, just buy. Buy to the good mood you could have just have. It's just not gonna happen. So basically, if it's Sunday, you need to face a day, like currently it's Sunday, you need to watch those type of movies. The movies that don't make you feel good, put you in the greatest of mood. And When Harry Met Sally is one of those. When Harry Met Sally is one of those movies that are just making you a better person. And I am spatially right now highlighting those words. I'm telling that knowing deeply that it's the fucking truth. Like I guess maybe that's how Jesus felt when he was telling people, "Hey, become Christian, you guys. That is dope. That is dope. I'm out there preaching my truth." And actually, I rewatched it yesterday, so it is super clear in my head. But the first time I watched it, it was a Sunday, and I was not feeling it. I'm like, okay, this mutual on Twitter keeps talking about it. It's happening. And it was described to me like one of those OG rom-coms that, paved the way for so many other movies in the way that, you know, there are things that you may know as tropes, like the enemies to lovers trope, or the friend to lovers trope, or the bet trope, like uh let's pretend that we love each other, and then in the end obviously they're gonna fall in love with each other. Those tropes that we just know by heart because we have seen them dozens and dozens of time, because we've read you know Jay Austen. We know little J Jane Austen. We know her, we've read her, and she paved the way for thousands of other books and movies like that. And we know, now when Netflix is dropping something, we're gonna pretend we don't know what's gonna happen. But we know, and those are because there are tropes. And Rob Reiner, that is the director of When Harry Met Sally, paved the way for so many other movies. And it was super interesting because this concept of, somehow can friends have sex and still, be friends the next day? This question that we now have seen so many times appeared for the first time in front of our eyes with When Harry Met Sally. And like that is insane, just to realize how this movie made history. But for now, for us, it seems like it is like, yeah, sure, whatever. But like at that time, this movie changed so many things. And it feels very contemporary in many ways because, so, what is this movie talking about? Harry and Sally, they meet in 1977, and they are taking a trip from Chicago to New York. They are, how do you say that in English? They were just sharing a car to go there because they are both graduated from the University of Chicago, and they are starting a new life in New York, in the city. And they met at this moment, but they don't really like each other. I mean, Harry likes Sally, but he's in a relationship. And she's just like, "Can you stop being an asshole? We're just gonna we're gonna be friends. Like, it's not gonna happen. We're just gonna be friends. I don't want to be with you." And he's like, "Well, we cannot be friends because I just literally put out there that I want to have sex with you." And a man and a girl, a man and a girl cannot be friends. I agree. But like a man and a woman cannot be friends if they want to fuck each other, says Ari. Not like that, but that's basically what is me. That's what he means. That's what he means. And he's saying that to little prude and very structured Sally. And she's like, "Well, I guess we're not going to be friends." They arrive in New York and they say goodbye to each other, and they never see each other again until 5 years. and they cross each other's path every 5 years, and then they become really friends. And you just see them becoming friends and helping each other through breakups and divorces and through life. Definitely knowing that they're going to fall in love with each other. But still, it was a very unique way of telling this story. And it's not a friends to lover trope, like, we start being friends and let's see what's going to happen. It is a story about love of 10 years. And everything is there. Like, you've got Meg Ryan, you've got Billy Crystal, you have Carrie Fisher, you know. Yeah, guys, Princess Leia. She was slaying in so many other roles, and she is everything in this movie. She plays Ella's best friend, Marie. And, I mean, you're watching this movie and you're just like, okay, Rob, you're making history, slay. And it's insane. And it's the type of movie you're just watching them and you do not expect a lot at first, and suddenly you realize that you are in it. Like, you're very much into it, and you're just like, oh, I really like it. And that's what happened with Harry Met Sally. I'm absolutely putting in a trailer, like, at this moment of the podcast. Like, the trailer is here. Listen to it.
Men and women can't be friends because no man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
So you're saying that a man can be friends with a woman he finds unattractive?
No, you pretty much want to nail him too. Grape?
No, I don't like to eat between meals.
I'll roll down the window. A faceless guy rips off your clothes, and that's the sex fantasy you've been having since you were 12. Exactly the same.
Well, sometimes I varied it a little.
Which part?
What I'm wearing.
You tell her about other women.
Yeah, like the other night. I made love to this woman, and it was so incredible. I took her to a place that wasn't human. She actually meowed.
You made a woman meow?
Are you comfortable?
Sure. I need to talk.
What happened?
What's the matter?
Harry came over last
I went
night.
over to Sally's last night.
Because I was upset that Joe was getting
And
married.
one thing led to another.
And before I knew it, we were kissing,
To make
and
a
then
long story short,
we did it.
They dated.
You're challenging,
I'm difficult. I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
but in a good way.
And I'm gonna be 40.
When?
Someday.
In 8 years.
It's not the same for men. Charlie Chaplin had babies when he was 73.
Yeah, but he was too old to pick them up.
So yeah, I just love that. I don't know if I'm a big rom-com guy, but I've been a lover of love for a very long time. And I've made a podcast about love, like in French. It was about what I'm calling the theory of the chair, about a comic book that I love that is called Lou, and about love. And it was a huge podcast, like of 40 minutes. And in this podcast, I'm explaining that I've been a lover of love, but I'm not very much, I don't know if I'm really going into details. But somehow, when I was 17 years old, I just thought that the only thing that I was missing in life was love. I thought that if I was not happy 24/7, it was because I was not experiencing love like every goddamn teenager seems to have in every Disney Channel movie ever. So I was like, you gotta be in love. Like, clearly you haven't been in love, and that's why you're not happy. And so at 17 years old, I'm like making a fixation on that. Like, be in love, be in love, be in love. And of course, I'm a romantic. I've read Jane Austen, projecting myself as Lizzie. I'm like out there, where is Mr. Darcy? What's Darcy? Mr. Darcy, where are you, Mr. Darcy? I'm begging for Mr. Darcy. And it's not happening. And then I'm discovering a lot of rom-coms, I'm watching Notting Hill. I'm like, this is exceptional. Everything is there. British. The music, the colors, the outfits. I just love it, I'm watching Bridget Jones, absolutely projecting myself. I'm like, yes. I don't know why I've always projected myself in 30 something women that are lost in their lives. But this is just my go-to, What? You're a white woman lost in their 20s? You're a white woman lost in their 30s? You're a lost white woman in your 40s and you're looking for love? I'm in it. You got me. You already got me. I'm into it. And I just love rom-coms. I think a good rom-com is everything. And I was reading an article about that, the fact that, for I think a couple of years now, rom-coms felt like they were not really marketable anymore. Like, I there are so many movies that went on our screen when we were like babies, like in the early 2000s, that could never ever get produced, neither be in theaters now, because making a movie is so hard. Like, it is so hard. We've been through so many crises, and this industry is actually going to like very much rough times. And there are movies that are iconic, like Mean Girls, for example, that you would never see on a big screen anymore. Like, now those movies would be total Netflix originals, and even if you get them as a Netflix original, you would be lucky. But there are movies that are now gems that would never be in our screens. That was also Matt Damon that was talking about that. And Matt Damon was saying that there are movies like Good Will Hunting and stuff like that that would never be in our screens anymore. You would not get them produced. Like, finding the financial support for those movies would be off. And I think it's horrifying. But like, it's been 2 or 3 years now that I'm seeing, well, coming through the indie spectrum, I'm seeing movies that happens to be raunchy comedies. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. That is a horror comedy. So funny. Thinking of Bottoms by Emma Seligman, that happens to be the director of one of my favorite movies, Shiva Baby. That is a movie about a white woman lost in her 20s. So I was like, check, put me on a list. I'm in it. I love it. Slay. And now she directed Bottoms, that is now on VOD. Raunchy comedy. We love that. So ghoul. So ghoul. Ghoul. Look at me mixing cool and good. So yeah, I'm thinking of what? I'm thinking of, well, I'm blocking now. My mind is blocking me. But I'm thinking of rom-coms happening in front of our screens. They're coming back. Rom-coms are coming back. I'm very much praying for that. And rom-coms just make life better. Especially through fall, that to me feels like the worst season ever. Like, I don't like autumn. I don't like autumn at all. I like the beginning of autumn. Like, I cannot show you if you're only listening to me, but if you're watching the video of the podcast, I'm gonna try to show you. But like, this is so cool because the only thing I like about this room, like, I'm at my parents' place. The only thing I love is that I can see beautiful trees, and it's giving fall, but like cute fall. Like, I don't know how you're gonna see anything. I don't know if you see anything, but it's giving fall. You know what I mean? It's giving fall, and I do not feel like in Paris we have experienced a real fall moment in a minute. It's been a minute because climate change, yeah, and now it just feels like we have a huge block of 6 months of winter, and it makes me fucking depressed. But it, like, I feel like in New York, I mean, the way you want to project it and you want to dream of it, you feel like in New York you have those beautiful colors and those beautiful trees. Well, currently in New York, it's actually a fucking nightmare because, climate change and you've got water everywhere. But in the end, you need good movies and good rom-coms to go through those types of seasons, especially depression that happens to be seasonal. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. It's the end of the video because I don't have any more space on my phone, which is totally normal because I've just filmed 25 minutes of a podcast. Let me just pause for 20 seconds. Back, filming and recording. So what was I saying? Basically, to get through depression and seasonal depression and fall and winter, you need good movies. And When Harry Met Sally is one of those. I'm also going to tell you precisely what I loved about this movie. It felt real and organic. What I just hate about rom-coms that feel, a lot of those feels rushy. Like, When Harry Met Sally is maybe 2 hours long. Like, maybe let me just check that actually online while I'm talking to you. When Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met Sally. It is. Can I have the time? So it is. Damn, it's only 1 hour and 36 minutes. Okay, I thought it was longer. I guess it's the perfect timing. I thought it was longer though. But okay. But like, it's not too rushed. I love that it takes time to be built. Like, you gotta believe that there is a connection. Like, yeah, this connection is there somehow since the beginning. But how do you know it's a connection that is gonna be good to you? And I love that this is a movie about two people who were in relationships before and they met at different timing, but it was not the right one. And the connection was still there, but how do you understand it? How do you get it? How do you know that this is a connection? You need to grow up. And when those two characters discover each other and meet, they are 20-something. They're not ready for this. And I just love that you see two people that happens to construct each other in their own time, at their own place, and then it's like, oh, but I love you. So it feels organic. That's one of those things that I love about When Harry Met Sally. It is organic. It feels real. Like, I feel like I could know those two people and they're dating other people and this is not rushed. This feels real. The other thing I love is the music. It's jazzy. It is so New York. Like, it is so New York. And a lot of people, I've made another episode of podcast, so I don't know which one is going to be out there for. I don't know if I'm posting this podcast first or the one I just made about Woody Allen. I think I'm going to post the one I made about Woody Allen first. But, like, I'm basically boycotting. My accent is so weird. I'm, like, talking with an English accent sometimes and with an American accent. This is so weird. I'm basically boycotting Woody Allen. Like, fuck him. On the other end, I watched his latest movie in theaters and I hate myself for it. So, to feel better, I've made a critic of the movie in a podcast, and I'm also coming back on why this man is problematic. But it's super funny because the way people were projecting Woody Allen on me, people were just like, oh, it's horrible, he's just an asshole, because you would love his movies. Like, I grew up with people telling me that. And so when I'm finally watching a Woody Allen movie, I just don't like it. And I'm just like, fuck. So I betrayed myself, all of that, for a movie I just don't really like at all. Like, fuck me, I guess. But basically, the way New York feels real and embodied and touchable in a way, in When Harry Met Sally. I thought it was the way I would feel watching a Woody Allen movie. Even though the latest movie he made was in Paris, but like the city feels like it's hugging you. Like when you're watching When Harry Met Sally, you feel like it is a love letter to New York. Those two people, everything started between them because they were going there. Like New York is their place. And it is such a beautiful town. And the colors and the jazz and the music and everything settles you in this town. You couldn't have this movie if it was anywhere else. You want to go to New York when you're watching this movie. So I love the sounds. I love this. There is one song, I think I'm going to put it in the podcast so you just can hear it. It's Autumn in New York. Like, it's basically called like that. And it's a reprise of a song of Ella Fitzgerald and James Armstrong. And it is just a beautiful one. Just picture me living my best life on my Vélib, on my bike in Paris. I'm just listening to this song, which is totally illegal to listen to music while you're biking, which I think it's horrifying. I get it. You don't want to get killed or kill someone, but there are some types of, I guess, locomotion, if I can say that needs and requires music, and biking with music is everything, okay? And I love Meg Ryan, because this is also the thing. Meg Ryan is a household name for rom-coms. Like, she invented rom-coms. And by the way, she's directing and producing her first movie ever, while she's also acting in it. And it's a rom-com. And I think it's coming into theaters like in a couple of months. But this is insane. Like, Meg Ryan is the queen of rom-coms. And it all started for her with When Harry Met Sally. And she's so beautiful in this movie. Also, unpopular opinion, but I love when rom-coms happens to have very normal people in it. So Meg Ryan is the most beautiful woman ever in this movie. Totally agree. But why is it also very much true and settled in real life? Because she falls in love with a guy like Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal isn't hot. I mean, I like Harry, but he isn't hot. Like, I don't know, I think it was in the early 2000s, people started to think that to make a good rom-com, you needed to have a very hot male lead. Like, of course, we love a good, beautiful, hot asshole like Matthew McConaughey in, damn, how is this movie called? It's with Kate Hudson, and I want to say it's 10 Ways. No, I'm mixing with 10 Things I Hate About You. Wait. Kate Hudson. No way. I'm losing my mind. How is this movie called? Kate Hudson. Matthew McConaughey film. Alors. Comment se faire larguer en 10 leçons. Ok. English title. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So there was a 10. Not totally out of the way. Out of the blue. So, yeah, of course. It is always a pleasure to watch a movie with a guy like Matthew McConaughey in it that happens to be not disgusting to look at, but at first, the OG motherfucking rom-com was with a guy like Billy Crystal. And I think it says everything about this movie. All of us got fucking taken, kidnapped by the hurt and the soul of a movie that happens to have as a lead Billy Crystal, who never was a sex symbol. But it just feels like those characters are real. And this is the thing that I love about this movie. I feel like this is one of the greatest things that I love about this movie. And that is all. I also love good side characters. Like, to me, if I had to make, I don't know, kind of a list, you know, um, like une recette, you know, things that you have to follow to make a good rom-com, you need to have good side characters. And this is why I was telling you that Carrie Fisher in this movie is exceptional. Like, Carrie Fisher is really one of the greatest side characters in the rom-com because of this movie. You know, this is insane how good Carrie Fisher is. She's very funny. And in When Harry Met Sally, she plays the best friend of Sally Albright, so the best friend of Meg Ryan's character. And she ends up falling in love with Harry's best friend. And at first was a double date, and Harry was trying to put his best friend, that is called Jess, if I'm not saying anything stupid, and he was trying to put Jess with Marie. He was trying to put Jess with Sally, and in the end, Jess very falls in love with Marie, so Sally's best friend, played by Carrie Fisher, and I think it's exceptional. And, you know, as I said, they settled for so many decades, so many tropes that we've seen in so many movies, and that says it all. Like, you have to watch this movie. In the end, it also very much, I'm inventing English in front of you guys. I'm saying things that are just not grammatically okay. But in the end, what I love about this movie is how much it shifted my perception of love. I guess I can currently say I'm in a relationship, which is a big deal. It's the first time in my life ever that I'm in a relationship. Like, I used to be this lover of love. I was looking for a relationship, but I was not having it because I guess I was not ready. And then, and it's horrifying, when I was not looking for it, that's when it happened. And now I'm in a relationship, and I'm forcing my partner to watch this fucking movie. Because you cannot date me, you cannot be in a relationship with me and not watch When Harry Met Sally. But especially, you have to watch it because there is a need to have a friendship. And it's very funny because with the person I am with the guy I'm with, I knew I was starting to like him when we were not in this flirty thing anymore. Like, we are still flirting and desiring each other, thank God. But when I like him, it's when I feel like I'm with a friend. A friend I like to do certain type of things, but a friend. And one day he called me and he told me, I really wanted to tell you that I'm aware of the luck that I have to have you in my life. And I'm aware that I'm lucky to have you like a friend. And to me, even if there is multiple type of feelings and multiple type of, you know, love type of connection between us, I love that we are friends. And this is something I'm cherishing a lot. And I was just like, yeah, me too. And I love that we're friends. I just really love that. And to me, it was essential to be in a relationship with someone that was also my friend. And that is the case now. So for all of those reasons, for a good music, for a good lead couple, for a good enemies to friends to lovers trope, for New York in fall, for the 80s. Oh my god, for the 80s. Because this movie is in the 80s. I told you that. This movie came out, it was for 1989. So you see this movie, it's for 10 years. You follow the characters for 10 years. So you see them at the end of the the 70s and at the beginning of the 80s for a good time travel, for fashion, for love. You have to watch When Harry Met Sally. And you'll thank me. And if you liked and enjoyed this podcast in English and you want to learn French, do not hesitate listening to and watching my podcast in French. I'm going to try to make many other podcasts in English because in the end, I love making my father happy, and he's going to be very happy and proud that I made a podcast in English. So I do not feel like I'm losing and wasting my degree in English and economics. Because clearly I'm not using the economics part. I don't know if it shows. I'm not using the economics part. Fuck economy. But like, yeah. I hope you enjoyed. Do not hesitate to share that with your friends and to follow homme, retard, a late man on social media, on TikTok. You know the drill. And yeah, I wish you a good week, a good time, a good day, a good night, and a good watch. Bye.